Some people will smile in your face while quietly draining your peace, your energy, and your future. And the dangerous part is this: they often ask politely. The Stoics understood something most people learn too late. Not everything should be given freely. Because when you give certain things away carelessly, you slowly lose yourself. Before we begin, subscribe to Calm Over Chaos for more powerful Stoic wisdom that helps you protect your peace, strengthen your mind, and remain calm in a chaotic world. 5 things you should never give people, even if they asked. Most people think kindness means saying yes to everyone. But the Stoics believed wisdom matters more than people-pleasing. Because some things are too valuable to hand away carelessly. Today, we're going deep into 5 things you must protect if you want peace, self-respect, and mental strength. And the people who understand these lessons early often avoid years of emotional suffering. 1. Never give people unlimited access to your mind. One of the most dangerous things you can give people is unrestricted control over your emotions. Many people hand their peace away without realizing it. A rude comment ruins their day. A text message controls their mood. Someone's opinion changes their confidence. The Stoics believed your mind is sacred territory, and not everyone deserves access to it. There was once a young man named Daniel who constantly absorbed other people's negativity. If someone insulted him, he replayed it for days. If someone ignored him, he became anxious. If someone criticized him, he doubted himself completely. His emotional state depended entirely on other people. One evening, Daniel visited his grandfather after another stressful day. His grandfather listened quietly and then asked, "Why do you hand strangers the keys to your mind?" Daniel looked confused. The old man continued, "If someone can control your peace with a few words, then your mind does not belong to you." That sentence changed Daniel forever. For the first time, he realized emotional boundaries mattered. He stopped reacting to every opinion. Stopped explaining himself constantly. Stopped allowing negativity to live inside his head rent-free. And slowly, he became calmer. The Stoics teach that people can attack your reputation, insult your appearance, or misunderstand your intentions. But they cannot control your inner world unless you surrender it. Marcus Aurelius once reminded himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." That is true freedom. Weak people react to everything. Strong people choose carefully what deserves emotional attention. And once you stop giving people unlimited access to your mind, your peace becomes harder to steal. 2. Never give away your self-respect. Many people destroy themselves trying to keep others happy. They tolerate disrespect, betrayal, manipulation, humiliation, all because they fear losing relationships. But the Stoics believe self-respect is worth more than temporary acceptance. There was a woman named Clara trapped in a relationship where she was constantly insulted and emotionally manipulated. Every time she tried leaving, her partner apologized temporarily and convinced her to stay. Months turned into years. One evening, Clara visited her grandmother feeling emotionally exhausted. After listening carefully, the old woman said something unforgettable. "Every time you accept disrespect, you quietly teach people how to treat you." Clara felt those words deeply. For years, she believed staying loyal made her strong. But in reality, she had abandoned herself. That night, she finally chose dignity over attachment. Leaving was painful, but staying was slowly destroying her spirit. The Stoics teach that no relationship is worth losing your self-respect. Because once people realize you tolerate everything, they stop valuing your boundaries completely. Mentally strong people understand something important. Love without respect becomes emotional slavery. And sometimes the strongest thing you can do is walk away peacefully. Not out of hatred, but out of self-worth. 3. Never give people endless explanations. Most people explain themselves too much because they desperately want to be understood. But the Stoics understood a painful truth. Some people misunderstand you intentionally. No amount of explaining will change that. There was a hard-working employee named Marcus who constantly defended himself at work. If someone questioned his decisions, he gave long explanations. If rumors spread, he tried correcting everyone. If people judged him unfairly, he exhausted himself trying to fix their opinions. One day, an older colleague told him, "You are wasting energy trying to convince people committed to misunderstanding you." That sentence changed Marcus completely. He began observing something strange. The more he explained himself emotionally, the weaker he appeared. So he changed his approach. He stopped arguing endlessly. Stopped defending every rumor. Stopped seeking approval from people determined not to understand him. Instead, he focused quietly on his work and character. Over time, his results spoke louder than explanations ever could. The Stoics believed dignity often requires silence. Not everyone deserves access to your personal thoughts, motives, or emotions. Weak people over-explain because they fear rejection. Strong people understand this. Your peace matters more than convincing everyone to like you. Sometimes silence is more powerful than 1,000 explanations. 4. Never give away your time carelessly. Time is the one thing you can never recover. Yet most people give it away freely to distractions, toxic people, meaningless arguments, and emotional drama. The Stoics viewed time as life itself. Seneca once warned that people protect money carefully while wasting years without concern. There was a young man named Ethan who constantly complained about feeling stuck in life. Yet every day, he spent hours entertaining gossip, scrolling endlessly online, and helping people who never appreciated him. One afternoon, his uncle asked him a simple question. "If someone stole 5 hours from you every day, would you tolerate it?" "Of course not," Ethan replied. His uncle smiled. "Then why allow distractions to steal your life willingly?" That question haunted him. For the first time, Ethan realized time theft does not always come from criminals. Sometimes it comes from habits, toxic relationships, and lack of discipline. So he changed his life gradually. He became more selective with conversations, more intentional with his energy, more disciplined with his attention. And within a year, his entire life improved. The Stoics teach that protecting your time is protecting your future. Not everyone deserves unlimited access to your energy. Not every argument deserves your attention. Not every invitation deserves your presence. Mentally strong people understand this deeply. Life becomes peaceful when you stop wasting time trying to entertain chaos. 5. Never give people the power to define your worth. This may be the most important lesson of all. Never allow other people to decide your value. Most people spend their entire lives emotionally controlled by external opinions. If people praise them, they feel confident. If people criticize them, they feel worthless. The Stoics believe this creates emotional instability, because your identity becomes dependent on changing opinions. There was a young artist named Leo who loved painting more than anything. But every time he shared his work, criticism crushed him emotionally. One rude comment could destroy his confidence for weeks. Eventually, Leo stopped painting entirely because he feared judgment. One evening, he visited an old art teacher who looked at him carefully and asked, "Why did you begin painting in the first place?" Leo answered quietly, "Because it made me feel alive." The teacher nodded slowly. "Then why allow strangers to decide whether your passion has value?" That question transformed him completely. Leo realized he had surrendered his identity to external approval. From that day forward, he created art because he loved it, not because everyone approved of it. Ironically, his confidence grew stronger afterward. The Stoics teach that your worth comes from your character, not public opinion. People's opinions change constantly. One day they praise you. Another day they criticize you. If your confidence depends on them, your peace will never remain stable. Mentally strong people build identity internally, not externally. Why most people lose themselves. Most emotional suffering comes from giving away things that should have been protected. People give away their peace, their self-respect, their time, their emotional energy, their identity. Then they wonder why they feel empty. The Stoics understood that inner peace requires boundaries. Not cruel boundaries. Wise boundaries. Because kindness without wisdom often becomes self-destruction. There is a difference between being compassionate and allowing yourself to be consumed by other people's chaos. The strongest people know how to care without losing themselves. The story of the empty cup. There's an old story about a man who constantly poured water into everyone else's cup. He helped everyone, listened to everyone, sacrificed for everyone. But eventually, his own cup became empty. Exhausted and broken, he asked an old monk, "Why do I feel so drained after helping others?" The monk replied, "Because you kept pouring without protecting your own source." That is what happens when people give away too much of themselves. The Stoics believed balance matters. You cannot pour peace into others if your own spirit is constantly exhausted. Protecting yourself is not selfish. It is necessary. Learn the power of saying no. Many people fear saying no because they fear disappointing others. But the Stoics teach that every unnecessary yes becomes a quiet betrayal of yourself. Every time you say yes to something draining, you say no to something important. There was a young woman named Sarah who constantly agreed to help everyone around her. Coworkers used her. Friends depended on her emotionally. Family members ignored her boundaries. Eventually, Sarah became emotionally burned out. One evening, her father told her, "You are drowning because you never learned how to refuse people." That sentence hit deeply. So Sarah began practicing something uncomfortable. Saying no calmly. Not aggressively. Not emotionally. Simply clearly. And something surprising happened. People respected her more afterward. Because boundaries create value. The Stoics teach that discipline is not only controlling actions. It is controlling access to your life. Final thoughts. The world will constantly ask things from you. Your attention, your time, your peace, your emotional energy, your identity. And if you give everything away carelessly, you eventually lose yourself. The Stoics understood something timeless. Not everything deserves access to your spirit. Protect your mind. Protect your dignity. Protect your time. Protect your peace. Because once you master boundaries, your entire life changes. You stop feeling emotionally drained constantly. You stop chasing approval. You stop tolerating disrespect. And you begin living with calm confidence. Remember this. You can be kind without becoming weak. You can be compassionate without abandoning yourself. You can love people without surrendering your peace. That is Stoic strength. And in a world filled with emotional chaos, that strength becomes rare. If this message helped you, subscribe to Calm Over Chaos for more powerful Stoic wisdom that strengthens your mind, sharpens your discipline, and helps you remain calm in a chaotic world.